The Beauty of the Beast. This is Bill. He loves to read and is the most handsome, sought-after man in the village. His friends make fun of him because he is a bookworm. They think he should be spending his time finding a suitable wife rather than being buried in a book. One day, as Bill was practicing his dance moves, he heard what he described as
a voice as beautiful as a songbird.
He was so entranced by this melodious sound that he decided to follow it. Meanwhile, at a castle not too far away, the Princess of Pop heard a knock at the door. She opened the door to see a raggedy old man. He kindly asked the princess,
"May I please have a cup of sugar?"
The princess answered with a stern "No," and slammed the door in his face. He shuddered at the ugliness she portrayed inside. The old man then placed a curse on her. He shouted,
"I will make you as ugly on the outside as you are on the inside until you find true love."
And with these few words, she was transformed into a beast, and the old man disappeared. As the princess looked at herself in the mirror, she let out the loudest scream. Ah! As he continued to follow the beautiful voice, Bill finally arrived at the castle. Before he could knock on the door, he was startled by a scream and barged inside. When the princess heard the door open, she stomped towards the door and prepared to give the person who she thought was the old man a piece of her mind. The princess and Bill came face to face. They were both so startled that all they could do was scream. Ah! Once the moment of terror had passed, the princess quickly rushed to shut the door. She did not want the intruder to escape and tell of the beastly princess. She then swiftly swept him away and locked him up like an animal. Miss Clocksworth walked up to the princess and saw that she was crying.
"What's wrong, princess?"
"I was supposed to go to the prom tonight, but now I can't because I'm this horrifying beast."
"Well, why don't you throw our own prom here?"
"But I don't have a date."
"Have you forgotten about the handsome young man that is locked upstairs? We can have him dress in our finest attire and escort you to our prom. You know you can't deny his good looks."
"He is rather dashing. That sounds like a great idea. Miss Clocksworth, go tell him of this plan and have him meet me in the ballroom at 9 o'clock.
Miss Clocksworth sprinted up the stairs and entered the room where Bill was locked up.
"The princess requests your presence in the ballroom for an evening full of dancing and good company. Put on this suit and be downstairs at 9 o'clock for an evening to remember."
"And what if I say no?"
"Then you will lose all hope of leaving this castle and returning to your normal life."
"Well, then prom it is."
While Bill was waiting for the princess's arrival, he thought of the hideous beast he had seen a few hours before and feared the worst. He then heard heavy footsteps coming from the hall. He figured a petite princess would be light as a feather, but this was no normal princess. When she finally entered the ballroom, their eyes met, and he was surprised by the beauty of the beast. With her hand in his, they began to waltz around the dance floor. Without noticing, she began to sing. And he recognized the beautiful voice he had followed to the castle. To his astonishment, he realized that he was falling in love with the beast. He decided to follow his heart, close his eyes, and lean in for a kiss. When he opened his eyes, the beast he once saw had been replaced by a person whose exterior beauty now matched her interior. She had been transformed by true love's kiss.
The princess realized that looks aren't everything, and she should get to know a person before she judges them. Bill and the princess ended up getting married and lived happily ever after.
The end.